this is going to be a weird one.
It is. Thankfully, you're no longer sick.
Yeah, I got really, really ill. Not like really, really ill. Like, I was ill enough to have a week off work, which wasn't great.
Yeah, well, you were ill the week before that as well, weren't you?
Well, I was ill the Monday with a squirty bum bum. And then I think that didn't really help because I think my immune system then became vulnerable and I got really bad hay fever from trimming a load of really long grass, and then that sort of blocked up my nose and gave me conjunctivitis. So I had pretty much a full-on cold, but a seriously bad one, as well as having shit in my eyes. So I had to stay at home, put in gel in my eyes, which meant I couldn't see anything, so I was just sitting on the sofa for a week.
just listening to shit. Just listening to
Pretty
the
much
world go by.
TV became radio.
And radio became irrelevant, as it always has been.
Thanks to podcasts.
Thanks to us.
I did listen to a lot of podcasts while I was ill, so...
Yeah, I should actually start listening to podcasts again. Instead, I'm just like audiobooks and TV shows. Luckily.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have a lot of time for TV shows.
That is handy when you're making, the premier TV show podcast in the world.
How did you know I was doing another podcast?
Hey, that's cheap.
I'm not. No one wants me. I've tried.
But yeah, so it also put the kibosh on our plans because you were going to come down and some other mates were going to come down and it was all going to be lovely, and then didn't happen. And also I didn't get to go and see Ed Sheeran because I was too ill, so Lisa's mum went instead of me.
She probably enjoyed it more.
Well, I had just seen him at Big Weekend, so it's not like I was, I hadn't seen him recently. So it was alright in the end. I just sort of, again, stayed at home, didn't do anything. But I'm back now. I'm alive. It's all good.
That's true. Unlike the woman in the opening of Twin Peaks.
Dead Twins. The new hit. Laura Palmer.
That would be mad. Like, just a film that's just all about a serial killer who only kills twins. That's probably a thing. That's probably actually a true story.
I'm just gonna go and copyright that script. That's actually quite a cool. That would be quite a cool sort of MO for a serial killer.
Yeah, but he kills them years apart.
Serial killer targets twins. Let's see if that's an actual thing.
It must be a thing. Like,
ooh, Amelia Dyer, the woman who murdered 300 babies.
It's not the same if they're babies.
Oh, here we go. 12 pairs of twins who committed murder together. No, still not what we're after.
No, because that would be too easy. I think, it's like just a serial killer that goes after twins, like one in like their teenage years and one in like when they're old and they're like, oh, I can't believe, I know, because the serial killer will be well old. There are some flaws here.
Yeah, I like that you're looking into the flaws of your screenplay before you've written it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an idea, really, but it'd probably be less confusing than Twin Peaks.
Honestly, I forgot how, compared to other episodes, not they're after you, compared to other episodes, I forgot how coherent the pilot was.
I thought I was following it, and then
it does hang together.
Yeah, no, it all kind of makes sense, but I thought I was following it and was like, this makes... What was Joe talking about? And then I was just like, wait, what? Like, there's just a point that I was like, I don't really understand what... but I can't remember what that moment was. Because, like, it's been a couple of weeks now.
Yeah. It does seem to, like... Because there's a few bits that, like, it doesn't really... It feels odd, but you're like, okay, no, I can go with this. And there's just a few weird character reactions that you're like, this is odd, but it still does make sense, and then it just goes fucking mad.
Yeah. The thing, I can imagine, if the rest of the TV show is this mad, how, like, anyone knows who did what. Because because obviously it starts with the murder, and then you get the reactions of, like, her family,
Yeah. A
Because
school friend.
I'm guessing quite a small town.
Well, it even says how the population on the sign for Twin Peaks. I can't remember what the number is.
Oh, they're gonna have to change that, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I always think that when you've got a sign like that, it's like, well, what's the point in having? Because obviously people will move away or people will move in, or
Not in TV town. Only the people who get murdered are taken off the board. But yeah, I'm assuming that just because everyone, like the sheriff, sees the body and goes, "Oh, this is so and so," and then goes off to her dad, and also knew exactly where he was. So I was like, that's maybe a bit like, it made me think small town.
Yeah.
But, and then obviously the mum over here I don't think she ever actually hears.
They don't actually say. It's just that he's on the phone and
Matey boy comes in, sheriff boy.
the sheriff Truman, Harry.
Yeah, he just walks in, just like, I need to see this guy, and just like, he's there. Yeah, and then her reaction, I was like, oh.
She goes for it, doesn't she?
Yeah, no, she really does, and I'm like, that is, I would expect that reaction. But I'm kind of used to TV sort of toning it down a bit. But I don't think she's not really in it that much, the mum, is she?
Not a huge amount. I've only seen a couple of episodes of this, I realised, as I was Googling through it.
I mean, to be fair, because the pilot's like 90 minutes.
That really
kind of feels a lot longer, doesn't it?
Yeah, I really struggle with it because it is quite slow, but and then where it's confusing as well. It is a tricky watch. Like you wouldn't sit down and just think, oh, I need to chill out, watch it. Oh no, I'll stick Twin Peaks on.
Yeah, it kind of makes you feel like, I kind of felt once I finished, I was like, I feel like I've watched like 2 or 3 episodes of this show already.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the episodes are like 60 minutes, but like with US adverts, so like 20 or something.
So.
Yeah. But no, I think just because when you're introduced to the mother, she's just walking around the house being like, Laura, where are you? Come downstairs. And then and you're like, oh, I know, that's her mum. Obviously, because like,
yeah.
And that felt very like similar to most, I guess, teen murders that happen in TV shows, where no one's really aware that it's happened. But no, okay, so that's like the first scene. But then I think what I found weird was the reaction of like all of her school friends.
Yeah, it is really odd. Like, because there's one person in the school that just like runs across the ground screaming. The headmaster has a fucking breakdown.
Yeah, and so does like her form tutor. I guess that's their equivalent. And I was just like, this seems to be. I feel like she was very popular, or this school is just very, very open to tragedy. Because it was kind of like, it seemed like everyone was like deeply affected. And I mean, I can imagine that like you would be if that sort of thing happened, but it seemed to be like it was everyone was devastated. Which doesn't seem super realistic for secondary school.
No.
Because there's always someone who thinks you're a cunt.
But then I don't think David Lynch's work is to be like, oh, what would realistically happen? Because you haven't even got to the bit with the lodge, where like there's a dwarf that appears that speaks backwards, and it tells Cooper that there's the brand of chewing gum that he likes is coming back in a big way. And it's honestly, it gets so much more mental than this. And I do find it. I do struggle with it. I really. I mean, as much as I like, films and TV shows that are a bit out there and everything, when stuff is surreal to the point where you've just got absolutely no idea what's going on, I do struggle with it. But
yeah, no, I can imagine that. It's like, I've just realised that the guy who plays the FBI agent was in
Dale Cooper.
Yeah, pretty sure he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at some
Was
point.
he?
Yeah,
Carl McLaughlin.
I think so.
He is easily my favourite character in the entire show. He's just always talking to Diane on the dictaphone, and Diane, in my head, clearly does not exist.
Or I feel like it's either that or it's like some tragic backstory of like, it was his wife, but she's dead now.
Oh, it could be. To give you an idea of how weird Twin Peaks gets, but also to give you an idea of why Dale Cooper is my favourite character, right? I'll just read you out this quick thing. Okay, so basically the setup is Dale Cooper has called the sheriff and the deputies together, and because he's saying he's got this this odd technique for like deducing crimes and stuff, right? So what he does is he gets one of them to read out each suspect's name, right? And while he does it, he throws a stone at a bottle that's placed 60 feet and 6 inches away, and each time he hits the bottle with a stone, he considers the previous name read out to be of interest to the case. And he spends a good long while explaining how this is going to work, and he just starts launching stones at this bottle. And he's like, yeah, okay, it's definitely this. And then they follow the investigation down that route, and it's just mad.
That's incredible. The thing is, stuff like that kind of makes me want him, like, kind of feel like I want him to be right, like when he gets there.
Absolutely not. He can't. But this is the thing with David Lynch is he's so. And I'm saying this, I've only seen pretty much Twin Peaks and Blue Velvet, but Jesus Christ, there's some weird stuff David Lynch has done, but then equally there's some stuff that really stays with me. Like Blue Velvet opens with like the camera goes right down to the ground on this grass, and this is as I remember it anyway, and it finds a severed ear in the grass and ants crawling all over it, and for some reason that really sticks in my mind as a really powerful visual image. But yeah, no, Twin Peaks is fucked.
Yeah, it kind of almost made me think there was going to be like some element of the supernatural at some point.
I think it's alluded to, but at least what I've seen anyway.
Yeah, or it'll be like some
say,
cult or something that's like killing people. Because it's alluded to as well that it's like a serial killer. Because he finds like the small piece of paper under a nail.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the kind of thing where he, like, the FBI agent's just being driven mad by trying to solve this like one case. Maybe he's talking to the serial killer.
Maybe.
But he's just given the dictaphone a name because like otherwise he'll sound mad.
That's not bad. I quite like that.
Or maybe he just is the serial killer, and it's just recording him trying to solve his own crimes, or lead the police away. Sort of like, in the way that like some serial like Jack the Ripper and the Zodiac Killer love toying with law enforcement.
Yeah.
And I guess to an extent Dexter would be more what I'm thinking, where they just are law enforcement and they're just like, oh hey, I'm here to solve your crime. I think it was that guy. So, like, with no evidence, just like, could have been. It definitely wasn't me.
I do find this difficult to talk about because it's almost as if the plot doesn't matter. It's just odd thing to odd thing to odd thing.
That are kind of all connected through somehow. It's like, you know, those conversations that you have that are just tangents on tangents. It kind of feels like one of those, but it's like a case that's trying to be solved with tangents.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sort of annoyed at how little my, you know, how, the amount of little tolerance I have for stuff that isn't particularly clear. Like, obviously, if there's some ambiguity with stuff, that's not an issue. But stuff like this, I really struggle with it, and it's a shame because I do want to like it. So I remember that I first heard about this show. There's a TV show that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost did probably about 10, 11 years ago, and it's them just talking about their favourite things they saw on TV when they were young. So like just TV shows and films and stuff, and they go on about this. And I remember because they show a clip of Twin Peaks that absolutely shat me up when I was a kid. And I wanted to get into it since then, but it's a real struggle.
I wonder if it's maybe we've become so used to a lot of shows kind of spoon feeding you a lot of information.
Yeah.
That something that you might have to think about is a bit like, oh, but I could just watch this and it would be fine. But then I think, like, because we're reasonably intelligent people. I said reasonably, like, below average, but reasonably. Like, we can normally figure, like, we guessed a lot of Infinity War. No, not Infinity War. Game of Thrones. Like,
Did we?
Well, I mean, I did.
Oh, okay.
And some of Infinity War as well. Like, yeah, on this very podcast, we said that Spider-Man died 3 months before the film came out. And then
Which may or may not have happened.
no, it's been out long enough now, he fucking died. He is just dust on Titan now.
Oh.
It's a shame the first time they get a really good Spider-Man. Like, a properly good Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Second film. Third film. Killed him.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. They'll all be fine.
Can you imagine that if he's just the one that's just permanently dead? They bring everyone else back but Spider-Man.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
But no, like,
My coaster got stuck to my glass.
there's a lot of this show that kind of... I don't know, there's a lot of it that seems like it doesn't need to be there. I imagine it all has, like... It probably, I imagine, overall, all has purpose. But, like, some of the scene, like, the bar fight scene, I think was just to introduce you to some more characters who I've already forgotten about.
Well, I think, like we said, it's also difficult, the fact that it's as long as it is.
Yeah, and, like, because the boyfriend proper spirals.
But there's that bit where him and his mate are in the cell, and they just start barking.
Oh yeah, at the guy who filmed them in the park fields place.
Yeah. God, it's odd. Jesus, it's so odd.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of red herrings that, like, I guess it's sort of setting up in a way that, like, you sort of leave it going, well, I mean, any fucking one of them could have done it. However will we figure this out? And then the show's just there going, like, don't worry. We got you. Maybe. Can you imagine if they did this and then just went, like, just never followed it up with any, like, no TV show or anything, and then just 30 years later went, oh shit, sorry, we totally forgot to, like, really wrap that whole murder thing up. 2017, here you go.
I'd really admire a show for doing that, but I then think that no one would care 30 years later. Like, maybe a few proper hardcore fans do it, but
I think
Well, no,
I think
well,
a lot of
Twin
shows
Peaks, it did
don't.
come back.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because for some reason I thought that like the original Twin Peaks was just a film.
Oh, really?
I guess because it's fucking 90 minutes. It is a film, really, the pilot. And then there was sort of like a TV series to follow up, like 20, 30 years later. I was mad to think that it's nearly 30 years since this came out.
I would be quite interested to watch like the new Twin Peaks, but I guess you sort of got to know
What happened all the
in
way through it.
first.
So you have to watch the whole thing. And then maybe at some point we'll do an episode of the podcast where we just chat through shit that we've actually watched from the podcast. It'll probably just turn into fucking Gilmore Girls again, though. It's like, we watched Gilmore Girls, we really liked it.
So, are you gonna watch it again?
Do you know, I kind of want to. Because I kind of want to see what happens. Because this is all just like, it's just one day. Isn't it? It's literally from like, they go, oh, she was murdered, to it's a day later and you just see someone digging up like the locket that was buried, that they found like the other half to the crime scene, that I totally missed. It's weird because it seems like the important scenes go so quickly, and a lot of the scenes that I don't know how relevant they are yet. I imagine they are later on. They just seem to like take up a lot of the time, and there's just like important bits dotted in, like a couple important scenes just like dotted here and there. Where it's like, but I think my favourite character, I know my favourite is the deputy that cries all the time at murders. Like I love him so much. Because everyone gives him shit for crying.
There's a real interesting arc to his character. I've read a little bit. In fact, I did watch a couple of YouTube.
Maybe
videos.
he's the murderer. It could have been him.
This video was like running through, but basically just like, right, explain Twin Peaks to me, and it
Help
does. And I'm
me.
like, I was like watching it, thinking, I bet if I'd watched all of Twin Peaks, I wouldn't come to the same conclusion as this guy. But his story's got quite an interesting arc, which is quite nice.
It seems to be, there's a lot of, I guess maybe there's like a through line that's like hey, here's our story, but then leaves a lot of it kind of open-ended. Because that's the thing, like, a lot of newer TV shows don't do so much. Because a lot of newer TV shows are kind of like wrapped up, and it's like, oh, here's our finale, we're just going to wrap up everything. Everything is done.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe nearly 30 years ago. It's mad because this came out the year I was born. Like that's no good. It's making me feel old. But it's older than me, so it's fine. Like I feel like a lot of shows around that time maybe had more like stuff to discuss once you've already seen it. Like water cooler moment sort of things.
Yeah.
Which we don't have now. We have podcasts. We listen to other people talk about shit, so we don't have to. Apart from us, who, I guess, just talk nonsense about TV shows.
But the best nonsense.
Yeah, it's my favourite flavour of nonsense. But no, I am kind of tempted to keep watching it. Because, like, I kind of want to know what happens. And I feel like this isn't the sort... I feel like if I read what happened, it wouldn't do the show justice.
Yeah.
Because as mad and confusing as it was, I was like... I was there for 9 minutes like, the fuck is going on? And the last 90-minute pilot we watched was The Bastard's Executioner, which made me go, why the fuck am I still watching this?
Christ, I forgot about that.
And I remember the only reason it was even on the list was because we needed something so we could talk about Game of Thrones, and because Ed Sheeran and Scroobius Pip were in it.
This is true.
And it turns out that's not enough of a reason to watch a TV show. Unless they are Game of Thrones and Taboo.
Yeah. Which I still haven't watched.
You've seen the first episode. I haven't seen the finale of Taboo yet. Like, that was over a year ago? Christ.
it came out the 28th of June 2017. The Poldark and Taboo episode, and we tried a lot of times to watch it before that.
Yeah, new series of Poldark on as well. Enjoying that.
I've got a whole bunch of series to catch up with.
I know they literally opened season 4 with just Adrian Turner just standing there, just chest out, and I was like, "This isn't for me, is it? Like, this is not aimed at me." But I'm just there like, just give me more. I know it's aimed at me because I like Gilmore Girls. I am a teenage girl.
Do you want to move on to the other show?
Yes. This one, a lot more straightforward.
This one, I can understand.
Yeah, I really liked this, and I nearly watched. I just nearly just left it playing.
What show are we talking about?
It's Boats Motel. Oddly,
I got very confused.
I actually thought this was a lot newer than. I thought this came out like in the last couple of years.
Yeah, they were on Series 5 already.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Um,
I thought like we were up to date on this, but no, we are not.
What I found weird is that obviously I've seen Psycho, and Psycho was made in 1960, and then I started watching Bates Motel, and then there's an iPhone. That confused me a little bit.
I'm thinking maybe what they've done is modernised it. And because I'm guessing that if you have like a long running show like this, the end is probably going to be about the start of Psycho.
Well, that's sort of the trouble, isn't it? With anything that's a prequel, is you know roughly where it's heading. So we know you've not seen Psycho, have you? But
Nope.
We know at some point he's going to start cross-dressing. We know his mum's going to die at some point, and at some point,
I thought she like the thing is, I know loosely the story of Psycho. I know that it's very like Mummy's Boys, because Psycho's one of the other things. It's one of the many things that's based on Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
Gein, fucking whatever, mate.
Ed Gein inspired like hundreds of stuff.
Yeah, he is
killers.
basically horror's dad. So, like, a lot of the stuff I can sort of go, oh, okay, so you're in a motel, not a farmhouse. Okay, but you're still basically Ed. And that's all... Because a lot of the characters that are based off him are fully, like, Mummy's Boys. Like,
Yeah.
so... I thought the mum was going to die very early on. Like, I thought she was going to die episode 1.
Her body needs to be there. It needs to be, because her body sort of rotted a bit in Psycho, but it's still there.
Oh, like the fact that I'm now just being like, hey, Ed Gein, bro, like this is you. I'm just like now it's just like it's so real.
So anyway, yeah. So basically, it's a prequel to Psycho. It's basically telling the story of Norman Bates and how he turned into Norman Bates. He seems all right to start off with. He seems quite normal. And
See, the thing is, I think season 1's going to be like a descent into just like, because I don't think his outcome is going to be his fault. I think it's very much going to be he's a product of his environment. Because he doesn't seem evil by nature.
Well, that's the very last shot of Psycho is a close up of him, and it's his voiceover, like his thoughts saying, I wouldn't hurt a fly. And I think that's it. Is that he has such an odd relationship with his mum. That's what turns him into Norman Bates, who dresses up as his mum and runs around the motel killing people.
Yeah, because I think... Because obviously the first thing you see is the shot of, like, I'm presuming his dad dead.
Yeah.
I
think so.
Which is... What's weird is because it looks like a murder, but it's never explained if... Because I think it kind of leaves it open to, like, it could have been Norman who did it, or Norma.
Yeah, it's I read it as it was implied that she did it because she sort of is quite, you know, she doesn't react in a hysterical way. She's like, oh, okay, well, I guess he's dead.
Yeah. What I like is that this is another one of those. I guess also the Norman thing is probably going to impact his relationship with her. The fact that he literally almost has her name.
Yeah. Well, she even makes a point of it, doesn't she? She says, you know, the father's name.
She makes the same point that
all the time.
Lorelai made in Gilmore Girls, but Rory's not a psycho. Which is weird, because like that line just reminded me of Gilmore Girls, and I was like, this is a very different show. Don't be making the same points, because you're going to... Either I'm going to find this too lighthearted, or Gilmore Girls is going to take a dark turn at some point.
I found Norma incredibly insidious. Like when he stays behind to try out for the track team, and she's like, you know, I need you to be having around the motel. You can't be, you know. Everything is so passive aggressive from her, but it was like hugely damaging to him. So it is quite easy to see, you know.
Yeah, it's all that, all of that that's like
starting already.
That's everything that because also she's also kind of teaching him that, because obviously by the end she's killed a guy.
Yeah.
Well, he sort of gave her the opening to kill a guy, and like the thing, killing him would probably have been fine because they could have just gone, well, he kind of broke into our house and was kind of a bit raping me, so we killed him a bit.
Well, that would be fine, but then, like, she stabs him a whole bunch of times, which I guess is difficult. But she makes the point that they don't want the news to go public, because then no one will ever stay at the motel. Which I actually think is probably not true. You just wait a couple of years and then just market it as a haunted hotel. People will flock there.
Yeah. That sounds like the plot of Psycho, maybe? It's like, this hotel's haunted by literally the person who was here yesterday. Oh no.
We boast the most recent hauntings in America.
That would be incredible. Like, I wouldn't go, but... It sounds like the premise for like an escape room. But no, because she also, through that killing, teaches him that it's kind of okay to use the motel in a way that covers up those crimes.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we can't leave him in the house. We can't back a truck up to our house to then move the body into... No, we have to take him to the motel, and then... Oh no, we spilled some blood on the carpet. We have to rip up all of the carpets in the rooms that have matching carpets. Yeah, it's just so methodical that you're like, my God.
You've done this before.
Yeah, also those police officers are trash.
They are terrible. The fact that, like, how was he not smelling the blood through that shower curtain? That was kind of a bit like, hang on, just calm down a bit. When they started showing like, the shower curtain was featuring, I was like, well, just wait a minute.
I really expected it to end up in like, oh cool, we've just had to kill 2 more people.
Yeah.
Instead of like you just have to wiggle the chain and it's fine.
Yeah, it's just, how is he not... Oh, I just don't get how he's not thinking something is fucking wrong.
And also, the body is too big for the bath anyway. Because I'm pretty sure there's a scene where you see a hand or something pressed up against the shower curtain. It's like, would you not be a bit like, oh, someone's in there?
They have to be, don't they? The police have to be rubbish in horror stuff, because otherwise you wouldn't have
I suppose.
a horror thing.
The other thing that I found kind of weird is how he was literally waiting for the bus to school and just made loads of friends very quickly. It almost made me kind of think that there might not be... Like, it kind of made me think this was maybe like an all... Like a, for some reason, probably supernatural or murdery. Like a town that was mostly women. by the fact that they seem so excited for there to be a guy there.
Yeah.
But then the fact that, like, I suppose then the only guy that we've met up until that point then does come and be like, hey, I'm going to break into your house and be a bit rapey.
Yeah.
So I could maybe kind of see why there's not a lot of guys around there.
I know. I really liked it.
No, so did I.
Even though like there's an inherent problem with having prequels is that you know where they've got to get to.
Not if you don't
least
watch the
roughly.
original thing.
Well, you should, because it's a fantastic film.
I will, once I
It's
finish this.
Genuinely brilliant.
The thing, I suppose this could run up into, like, almost, I guess, a sort of modern day remake where everything's modernised rather than, like, the shot-by-shot one that you mentioned earlier. To me, not on the podcast, but you mentioned it to me.
I think the 5th series is actually a sort of a light telling of the film.
Oh, really? I thought they might do that, because otherwise everyone's going to have that inherent problem that you were having, that, like, Psycho's super old. Well, I say super old. But, like, and this is very modern. But then, my sort of the problem that I have around horror with modern technology is it kind of makes you go, well, why isn't your mobile phone charged up so that you can call for help? And also, if the girl in Scream had had caller ID, she would have known that the call was coming from inside the house. Before the police told her, she'd have been like, that's my fucking number. Oh, I'm leaving. Mobile phones would ruin a lot of horror films, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think that's why there's so much put on them, like, you know, running out of signal and stuff, isn't there? So.
Which, I mean, in the UK is a very valid thing to happen.
Particularly Vodafone.
Yeah, no, EE was terrible in Hastings. Luckily, I live in London now, so...
Yeah, you can phone people on the tube. That's not too bad.
Yeah, no, it still freaks me out using, like, the internet underground. I don't know why. Because I'm just like, but there's no signal here.
But there's, like...
But, I mean, you literally get like, a minute of internet at every stop. And it's just like... Okay, I really need to. I just need to do this quickly. Cool. Cool. The train's moving. The text hasn't sent. Okay, I'll try again. Okay, cool. I need to connect to the internet. Fuck! It's gone again. It's actually exhausting.
Oh well, at least you get signal on the tube, because I don't.
Yeah. Also, there was that thing. There's a couple of things that I don't fully understand, like the sketchbook that he finds.
Yeah.
And
I
the
don't know
last scene
is
where someone's
just out
chained
of-
up, and I was like,
Who's that?
The thing is, there's part of me that it's either something that's happening at the same time that he's looking at those pictures, or it could be a flash forward. If it's something he's found and then
true.
like goes, oh yeah, no, I found this great book when I was a kid. I'm going to reenact it. But it's more stabby than Peter Jackson's like, I'm going to make Lord of the Rings. Because those are kind of the same story. Found a book, want to remake it. But one's deadly.
No, I've no idea who that is.
Maybe it's like some sort of weird serial killer like Sensei or something.
Do they have Sensei?
Maybe. The trouble is, the only drawback I have to just going and watching the rest of it is I don't know, can you keep up that intensity of just killing someone every week and it not becoming like a bit like these police are terrible, or I'm kind of hoping that it's more there are character-driven episodes, and those things just kind of pop up and just like murder.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want it to become like a thing that I expect every week, where it's just like, oh, you're
Who's
the
dying this
victim.
week? I guess you're going to end up in the swamp or the lake or whatever.
Yeah, because I'm imagining that it's going to take longer to get the actual motel open than just like what they've already done. Because I mean, literally, all they've done is ruined a carpet, thrown a body in the lake, which has nothing to do with renovating the motel, apart from that they stashed it in the motel, which would have really put off anyone who was just like, oh yeah, no, room 4's all yours. Just no, no. I want to use the shower. But from the actual film, does room 4 have any significance, or is it just?
I don't actually remember. It's been a little while since I've seen Psycho. Actually, I've got like a Blu-ray box set of Hitchcock films. I should watch some of them. Because I've seen a bunch of them, but I haven't seen all of them. I think Psycho. Hang on. I'm pretty sure Psycho's in here. It's really nice actually. It's like done as a book.
Oh, that's cool. Does it have like a little bit? Does it have like just the blurb next to them, like the?
But it has like like the poster, and then like there's it says what the special features are, and there's a little bit of flavour text. But what is it? Yeah, Psycho is here. Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah. Next time I'm down with you or you're up here, bring it along and we'll watch it.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Because I'm now actually super interested. Because like, I think probably by that time I will have already watched my way through Bates Motel.
Well, Psycho is like it feels like a modern movie. It's really was ahead of its time, and it really feels contemporary still.
Yeah. What I actually kind of liked about this is Bates Motel didn't feel like a horror film or a horror TV show. It kind of felt. I don't really know where. Because I didn't feel like it was trying to scare me. It was just going like, hey, look how messed up people are. Or will be, if their mums keep killing everyone.
Yeah.
I suppose also, I'm guessing, like, does... I just want to ask loads of questions about Psycho. Does he only kill men in Psycho?
No.
Okay. Because I was thinking that so far he's only seen his mum kill, like, men. So I thought he could have gone down that route.
No, definitely not. He does kill men, or at least a man. I can't remember how many kills in Psycho.
Is he maybe just indifferent?
Yeah, it's not exclusively men or women.
That's interesting. I actually really want to see it now. But I think I want to watch this first before I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep watching this.
Cool.
How about you?
I might, but like I say, where it's a prequel, I don't know, because I do have a problem with stuff where you know where it's going to end up. But I did enjoy it. It was good. So maybe
this is one of the things where
nothing else going
the
on.
ride is better than the destination.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming that a lot of this probably doesn't come up in Psycho. Because I'm not actually sure. Is this based on like an expanded work, or is it just?
No, it's just the characters from Psycho, and it's like imagining how they got to that point. It's like when Rob Zombie remade Halloween, and the whole first half of the movie is how Mike Myers became Mike Myers, which sort of I really liked, but it's not the point of Michael Myers.
Have you seen the trailer for the new one?
Yeah, that looks alright. I do quite like. I really like how they go, "Hey, wasn't it her brother?" And they're like, "Nah, it's just some shit someone made up." So fuck them films.
Yeah, no, I saw. I was just like I can't. Like Facebook went, hey, look, you can buy Wolverine claws, and I was like, I wonder what else they sell. 'Cause,
What?
well, it's like they're just like Wolverine claws that are like mounted on some wood, so you can like grip them and like look like you've got the claws, like cosplay gear, basically.
Yeah.
And then I went onto it, and it was just like it was all like mostly it was like Wolverine, like the Wolverine claws and horror stuff.
Oh, you need to send me a link. I want to see this.
I'll see if I can find it. But I was looking at it and I was like, man, if I ever needed to get Joe a birthday present, like this is the best place to look. And I've already forgotten what it's called, so I'm gonna have to.
Oh, well done.
It's because I was like, I wonder if they sell swords from like films that I like.
Yeah, I do still really like the idea of owning a sword from a film. I don't know which one I go for. But
I'm
you'd
fully
Glamdring.
Narsil.
Oh really? I thought you'd go Glamdring.
No, Glamdring's cool, but like Narsil's.
Hadn't your sister got Sting?
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those.
Is it a latex rubbery job?
No, like the blade's metal, but the handle isn't actually leather wrapped. It's just painted to look like it is, which really ruined it for me. I was like, this is pretty cool, apart from that.
It was a good job on your present.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bate Motel I might watch. In fact, I probably will at some point. But Twin Peaks, I don't know if I can be bothered to just try that hard.
Yeah, I might watch Twin Peaks. It's one of those things that I'm at some point maybe, but like, because I'm only really curious, so I don't know how much I'd enjoy it. But Bates Motel, I think I would really like.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how patient you were with Twin Peaks.
If I ever start watching it, I'll just live text it to you. Just be like...
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, just like 17 texts that all just say...
Okay, so next episode. I'm looking forward to this one, because I've seen a few episodes of one, and I have no idea what the other one is at all.
Well, next week is basically baby horror.
Is the start of our horror... Should we go?
This kind of was
horror heavy
really.
towards the end of the year.
This was kind of the start of the
Yeah,
horror
I
stuff
guess.
with Bates, not so much with Peaks. But yeah, no, it's really the start of like because I think this one is.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
No, neither do I.
This is just for us, really.
That
I don't think
that
it's
one.
like too much. But
No,
that
these
one.
two aren't. I don't think.
And that one definitely is.
Yeah, no.
This is probably. I'm looking forward to this one the most, probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But
From
anyway,
this point
yeah,
on,
so-
I'm not. I'm looking forward to that because I get to watch that again.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week.
Next episode, we are doing Are You Afraid of the Dark? Which I don't know what that is.
It was like Goosebumps, but Nickelodeon.
So we're doing Goosebumps as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking forward to watching that. I'm really looking forward to it. The fucking the opening titles to Goosebumps used to shit me up when I was a kid.
Did you
I was
ever-
like- I had to turn.
You know,
it
they
off
did
'cause I
like
watched a
some
few.
like choose your own adventure books. Goosebumps.
No, I never read those.
They were. The thing I always found that frustrating because I'd always just turn like I when I was moving ahead, I'd like it'd be like go to page like 42 and I go okay, well I'm not going to lose this page. Go to page 42. It's like you died. Okay, back to page.
Okay, turn back. I didn't really do that. Go north.
Yeah, it's like it's just one of those things where I was like, I cheated my way through those books, and then I got to the end. And it was like a happy ending. I was like, fuck you, game. I mean, book.
I did used to have like a they fighting fantasy, but I can't remember what they were called. But it was called Citadel of Chaos.
I've
heard
had
it
those.
mentioned on a
I had
few.
one of them.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of them, wasn't there? It was all right, but you like you say,
Those
you'd
were
never,
fully back
ever
when I didn't
follow
have the
it.
patience for like pen and paper games at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a go at it again.
See, that's the
now,
thing, yeah,
just see what it's like.
Because more recently, getting into like more tabletop games and like D&D and stuff, I would fully be into that. But I mean, I could just buy one, couldn't I? I'm a grown up. I have money.
Yeah, and if you go on World of Books on eBay, every book's about £2.80, so that's where I get all my books.
Yeah,
now.
but a pen and paper game where people write in them, I don't want that.
That's true as well. You just got to hope that they did it with pencil.
Yeah.
And rubbed it out.
You know what I'll do? I'll do it with a fucking Sharpie. Everything I write will be on every single page.
I imagine there's probably Fighting Fantasy books online. Like you could probably find something on the internet which is a similar thing where you fill in like a spreadsheet or something.
Oh, someone's probably made it so that like you can just play it as like a game, like just a text-based adventure thing.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. So I think we're about done here, really.
Yeah. Twin Peaks weird. Bate Motel pretty good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's a pretty good summation of it all.
Well, what fun it's been, and I'm looking forward to the next episode.
So am I. The thing is, I'm not sure how much we'll enjoy it, because I feel like maybe Goosebumps will probably enjoy full-on like nostalgia. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just looking forward to
The
trying.
thing, like, okay, so premise of Afraid of the Dark. It's like kids around a campfire telling like horror story, like scary stories.
Okay.
Like what kids consider to be scary stories.
That's exactly what Goosebumps was, wasn't it?
They are very similar shows.
I've just bought the first episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, ready to watch. I'm that excited about Goosebumps that I might watch these tonight.
Awesome. Alright, well, bye, listener.
Yeah, see you later. Fuck off. Your mother doesn't love you.